Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Benjamin Zulu show time, and I hope you are excited. Okay, now in the previous shows, Benjamin has been advising you on what time frame you need to be dating. Okay, always remember what he has always been insisting: the finish in your mind. Always have that concept in mind, my dear viewer. Now today on the show is no exemption. Benjamin is going to revisit, dear ladies, why should you get married within a day and not over 3 years? Not just a day, day one for that matter. Okay, it is a paradox. How can you achieve that by day? Because most of us are tempted to extend in the name of I'm trying to know him better. Hey, Benjamin.
Hello. And now, Brahma, can we first of all start by removing this group that is likely to object? There's no hurry. We should not rush. You know,
I knew that is where we will begin.
I know, and I want to remove them because they're not part of this discussion.
Yes.
These are fools I like to kick out quickly. They come here writing nonsense. People don't think. They just have a big mouth and a very small brain.
Okay.
Please, when you come to our class, come bring your brain with you. Are we together?
Yes.
We don't have too many requirements. Don't pay money, but please bring
Your brain.
Understand context. We are not saying you rush. We are saying, like all other decisions, purchasing a house, purchasing a car, choosing a degree, choosing a course, choosing a partner. These decisions, they need prior planning, prior research, prior preparation. But on the day of signing deals, you're supposed to focus and do it with a definitive closure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that.
Yeah.
Choosing a mate is like choosing where to live.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing which job to do.
Yeah.
Choosing which car to drive, to buy. It takes preparation. During the time of preparation, you are not at the bazaar where they are selling cars. You are not at the airport. You are deciding where you want to fly, when you like to fly, how much money it takes. You do that away there. Prepare. So what we are talking about here is not you rush. Say, prepare, and when you're ready to do it with definitiveness and closure. That is to be contrasted from, we are in no hurry. We are moving in fast. We are living together. As we get closer. When you're moving, you're already playing wife, you're already playing husband, you're already giving your all. You may get children, get emotionally attached to your reputation. You get known as if you're being taken. Years are going. You can't experiment with living together. It's a permanent thing. You can't do that thing to check. And you give your all. Never respect a woman who tells you that she has lived with a guy I don't know for many years. My friend, by the time you offload your luggage, you should have been paid everything. Now, what is special with me? The way you are here, you were there for nothing. Why should I have to commit, pay dowry, acquire you, be exclusive? And over there, you sold it cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped one woman till started living with this guy when I was 24. Now I'm without it. I feel like I'm late. We came to get out of here. You have abandoned yourself. Where's your brain? Can you wake up fast? There is no advantage on earth. There is no recorded advantage on earth for cohabiting when you're not married.
Yeah.
If at all you intend to marry, if at all you wanted marriage, cohabiting should be the last thing you ever think about. Never even spend weekends. Spend a day, overnight there. Spend a month. If you do it, you regret it. Mm-hmm. It is. So, we wanted to remove this group. Are you saying we should hurry? No. Mm-hmm. Take your time. Study. Prepare. Decide what kind of man you want. Let's describe what we said the other day about what people are supposed to be doing when preparing. Yeah. You practice self-love. And we said, whether if you want to know whether you are ready to love another, try loving yourself first. Mm-hmm. And if loving yourself seems vague, that it has no meaning, you understand what it means. Because love for you means only romance. You are not ready for marriage.
Right.
If you don't know what loving yourself means, you are too far from marrying anyone. You marry anyone, you'll be mistreated and you'll not recognize it. Mm-hmm. You'll be given bad deals and you won't know it. To love yourself means to treat yourself right with dignity, and to appreciate yourself when you achieve things, and to control yourself from going excesses. Discipline is part of self-love.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because you have known you control your urges. You don't flirt with anyone whom you like. You don't give your contact to anyone. You don't follow up. You don't drool over women's photos. You don't send nudes to this. Because you have learned how to control yourself that way. You'll expect that from the one who comes to love you. Are we together? Mm-hmm. People keep asking me, what can I do? That person is flirting with everyone. Why don't you flirt with everyone yourself? You're self-respecting. Therefore, get a person who is also self-respecting, self-controlling. The first sign we said of self-love is treating yourself right. Dress nice. Give yourself decent life. Loving yourself does not mean romance and titillation of desire. That is a love between two people, which is erotic. Self-love is supposed to mean have a standard for your life. I told you, Bramwell, to always respect a woman who has good furniture in her house. Man, salute her. Mm-hmm. A woman is driving her own car. Salute that woman. You see a lady who's dressing wearing a good shoe, good handbag. If you see a guy who's dressed decently and he's single, respect that man.
Yeah.
He knows self-love. Okay? We know people have lost touch with themselves when you see them dressed badly. We identify mad people because of how they carry themselves.
Yeah.
You know, a person is in touch with themselves. They appreciate who they are. They love themselves when they keep themselves decent. And they carry themselves with elegance. Oh man, that's a good person. They know how to love them. Of course, there are other qualities to check. We are saying, what does this mean? This one means they are aware of what they deserve and they give it to themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we said the precondition. Until you can give yourself that minimum level of decency, don't expect anybody to give it to you. Mm-hmm. Affordability, money is a factor, of course, but when you have standards, within every budget, I told you, you can always find the standards in Githurai. For the budget you have, you can tell me who you are. For the budget you have. Working with the 10,000 a month, you can get decent clothing. Working for 100,000 a month, you can get decent, for $1 million. Mm-hmm. The budgets go changing, but your mindset is about, I deserve the best. In all circumstances, I will always try to give myself the best. Okay?
Yeah.
The other form we said is, so treating yourself right, appreciating yourself, controlling. Yeah. When you love a child, you whip them rather than letting them endanger their lives.
Yeah.
You whip your feelings, control yourself. Remember I said the other day, the flesh and the spirit are always at war. Mm. When you want to do right, sometimes you find conflict within you to do bad. So it does not mean you're always perfect. But the moment you intend to live right, control yourself, you don't go sleeping around or flirting anyone. The moment you intend that and you live by it, you will sense temptations to go the other way. But you have already decided in your head. If occasionally you found yourself having almost slipped or here and there, you remind yourself, come back. If you practice that for a few years, it becomes your second nature. And we give people strategies on how to keep on the track. Yeah. So we are saying, one of the things you realize is that if you don't practice self-love, a person will come and give you negligence. You know, Bramwell, when you love yourself, you don't talk yourself down. Mm-hmm. You don't talk yourself down. These people tell you, I've been this person for 3 years, nothing has ever happened. It's because they did not decide what they deserve. Yeah. So when they were told, just come, we'll consider, then you are selling everything on loan. So if you realize you have learned them and you don't like them after 2 years, what do? You go to another and spend another 2 years? Go to another, spend another 2 years? The moment you start having sex with the person, you better already be signed up. So let's discuss the importance. The one importance is this, Brahma. This is the biggest. If you forget everything else, remember this. When you decide you will only marry in a ceremony, the ceremony can be at the Attorney General, can be customary, can be church. Mm-hmm. Ceremony is of any form. The form, you are the one to decide on the kind of ceremony. Yeah. But it must be a
ceremony.
It's a rite of passage. It's a transition. Yeah. It's a closure of the previous life, the beginning of the next life. Ceremony is mandatory to announce to your inner life, to yourself, to your mind, to the world. One chapter is ended, we're entering another one. Mm-hmm. Always insists on a ceremony. People say, we don't have money for weddings. It's not about money. The budget you have. If at all you should be marrying anyone, you should afford a small ceremony. If you can't afford a small ceremony, you should not be marrying anyone. Yeah. There are no valuable things for free in this life. Mm-hmm. Did you know you can do a wedding after church on Sunday?
Yes.
Doing weddings on Saturday is a matter of culture. It's not required. It does not have to be Saturday. You can inform the leader there that we intend to, and we this. I think we saw a lot of couples who used a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Yes. People came in now to assist, but them, they were not looking for publicity.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing their thing. Bramwell, a ceremony helps you close the previous chapter and start the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest reason to always marry on one day is because when you're looking to buy at once, to sign up, you are likely to be more careful because you're thinking about the long term.
All right.
When you're considering marriage, not living together, you scrutinize that person with more carefulness. But if you're just living in, coming, ended up being pregnant, or let's say a little bit, are you thinking long term?
No.
Thank you. That is the problem. It's so hidden and it's so deadly. It's so hidden and it's so deadly. When you want to purchase a car and make it yours, you consider cars with your budget in mind and the consequences of that car in mind. But what if the bazaar guy is telling her, don't worry, just drive for a month and tell me what you think. You'll not even think about, is this really what I can afford? Is it really? You'll be thinking about that month. When you sneak into a person's life somehow without proper planning, you will not think too long. You will not look carefully about the attributes. Emotions will get carried away. That kind of relating, marriage, sex is always there. And it confuses your reasoning. If you say sex for marriage only, and out here you study the person with caution, with long term in mind. Mm-hmm. If you want to marry right, ensure you are looking for husband or wife, not a girlfriend to pass time. I give people a simple example. When you're walking around the supermarket and you see something that was being sold at 1,000 shillings, but it has a 30% discount now, it's on sale, and it's now going for 700 shillings. But you did not have it in mind, although you like it. It was not in your budget, but I like it. When you buy it, have you saved 300 shillings? Or have you spent 700 shillings?
You've spent 700 shillings.
Thank you. That's how we think in terms of budgeting. How about life dating? When you meet a person who you are not thinking of marriage now, and but you like them. You know, exactly. It was not so much about marriage. You just talked one day, you catch up somewhere over coffee, and you meet every now and then, and you like it. So then you think, maybe if I don't date them, when it comes time for dating, I'll not get anyone, and I'll start hustling. Let's get into a relationship so that we kind of reserve each other. So when we are ready, we can just marry. Then you end up in that relationship for 3 years. Have you saved yourself the time for searching, or have you wasted 3 years?
You have wasted 3 years.
Thank you. You remember the puzzles in mathematics?
Yeah.
Do you see how we apply them? You used to say, where will I apply this?
Genius.
Where did you see that puzzle lastly? Wasn't it in mathematics?
Yes.
The hidden information was the deal breaker.
Yeah.
There were always questions with hidden information. It's left, not stated clearly, but it is what will give you the answer. In dating, usually it's what you are ignoring. It's the undercurrent. You may have learned that the storms of the sea are always on the surface only. Except, of course, if there's an eruption under the sea, there is volcanic. The normal eruptions caused by wind are always on the surface. Yeah. There are some fish, actually, who live deep sea. They tell me deep sea is very still. But it is high pressure. Not all fish can survive there because it is the weight of the water. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. So you need a certain frame that is very strong to survive there. We have creatures. The sea is also a world like this one. We have trees there. We have many animals. In fact, if you study deep sea, you'll be surprised. Mm-hmm. On the surface, it looks like there's nothing inside, but it's a full life. And there's a lot of wastage there. There's a lot of trash, plastics, what people, things washed into the... So if you study deep sea, your life has two portions. What people can see. Like the sea, what people can see. And sometimes there is stormy, these waves, and you feel emotional cravings. But there's a part of your life I never want you to forget. Mm-hmm. The deep soul. When the Bible says deep goes unto deep, to connect deep and deep. Let me tell you, brother. Remember where you are deep internally. Which season am I in? What am I supposed to be doing now? When you go for budgeting, you budget early before you see the temptations. You budget how much money you have and what you need. Does not mean you are rigid. Sometimes you have a flexibility in your budget. As I told you, some personalities like mine like freedom a little bit. But I always know how much freedom I have and what I can purchase. In fact, most of the freedom is about which flavor of juice to buy. It's not how much. It's whether do you go fruit or you know. Remember that. Brother, you may meet a good, many people tell you they stayed 3 years, and it's because they were not exactly looking to settle. They happened to bump on a person they liked. They thought they can. Those years when that money you spent there, you could have used it for a more developmental thing. That money you bought something because it was on sale. The energy you dated a person because they were available. You could have used it to move. And this person comes to complicate your life. All right? Yeah. So I've told you why I want you to marry on one day and in a ceremony. Is because your mindset will be thinking once and for all, if I sign, I'm done. I better be signing up for the right person. I check them closely, check the background. Have you had women telling you things that are causing you to vomit? It's after we had gotten out, I realized actually the three children, he's married at home, the family does not like me. What are you saying? Study the person without sex to see whether that's where you want to commit. Are we together? Yeah. Don't put the cart before the horse. Always start A, then go. Control your emotions. It's not easy, but it is a must. Good things are never easy. They require energy. Yeah. So the first reason is because it sets your mind to check closely. Because once you know, it's a do or die. Other people will object. You can still marry, right? And they still walk out on you. If you do your due diligence, and later on the person changes on you, people can change. They backslide or abandon the values and get carried away and flee away. You will have grief without guilt. You did things right, it's them who flipped on you. In fact, you'll be confident to say, that's their choice, it's okay. Marriage is always risk. They changed on me, or it's okay, I'll move on in my life. But if you don't do your due diligence, and you come to discover they were actually never deserving of you, who is to blame now?
I am to blame.
Thank you. If you study your woman rightly, and you come to realize later she decided she hid from you, and you did your part, but there are some things that really she put effort to hide them. Later you say, no, this is deception, I'm out. I don't want this. I did my part, I asked the right questions, I scrutinized. But if then, having gone in like that, and in the right way, and the person later on changes, it's not your blame now, okay? So we are not saying this is the only way, the sure proof, but on your part, you've done the right. And you give your marriage the chances to go the long haul, all right? The other reason why I want you to get married on one day, you confirm whether the person really wanted marriage. Huh? Brother, many people want you, but not marriage. People want husbands, and they don't want to be wife.
True.
They want the benefits, not the price. They like the idea of being with Bramwell in a steamy room.
Yeah.
They fantasize. But because you're also careless, you don't scrutinizing, you're not enrolling for a wife, they can sneak in using manipulation and rope you. And I told you, being known. People think when you're on TV, you're the ones being known. It's okay, but even you, where you are, in your company, if you're a decent person who is straightforward, there are people who admire you. It's about the scale. Tell people that. Yeah. Don't admire celebrities. You are celeb to some people. You are special to some people. They crash on you. As long as you live right and you're consciously growing and learning, and that's why people are watching our show. People don't like learning, don't watch this kind of thing. So anybody watching, I know they like learning. Warn them. They'll be popular. There are people who admire you. There are people who hold you in very high regard. And as long as you are like that, it's a sword that cuts twice. It makes it harder. It makes it harder for you to know who likes you genuinely or who is after what they see in you. Therefore, keep your zip locked. Keep the emotional manipulation loopholes like money, romance, and finance. Keep it aware of it to see clarity. You use money for generosity and gifting, the kind of way you would gift in that context, not to pay bills or give loans or break your... No. Don't do that kind of thing. Okay? Yeah. I pay bills when we're in a taxi. I pay taxi, ABCD things, the normal things that you do in dating, a lunch. But I don't start paying your rent. I don't come to your life to pay fees. Don't come to your life to give you huge amounts of money. That will confuse you. Keep dating, no strings attached. No strings attached. And as I told you, there's a disaster happening. People are ruining their lives by dating at the wrong time, getting the wrong people, then recording it on video and being shot on air and put on air and it is broadcasted. Your reputation is being banned for people to get attention and they can't see it. They can't see it, Brahmo. Don't call radio saying, I want you to bust this girl, busted, then she's busted. People know your voice, Brahma.
Yeah.
We may not know it, but there are people who know it so well. They know that's Brahma and Margaret. The day you start dating, people will talk with your friends. They'll come close to your circle. And they'll be told you had a scandal.
Yeah.
You know? And now people don't, you know, you lose credibility over things that should be in your past. As I told you, keep your dating private so that when you lose privately.
Yeah.
When you are left
Privately.
okay. You can cry privately and still brush up and go out to the world.
Yes.
Don't make it public. Hey. So the second reason we are saying is you get to see the true motives. When people know you're only dating for marriage, not to pass time, not for next year, 2, 3 years, 3 years, they know they can't deceive you. And you are able to see whether they themselves are ready. All right?
Yeah.
The other reason is you are able to see, the first one is you yourself, because you said, I must marry definitively in a ceremony. So I'm looking for a person who we can do life. Then we sign up together. That gives you a mindset of prudence, due diligence, checking carefully, as opposed to this loose dating of hang out this one, spend over here, now we are, then you get attached, get stuck together emotionally, pregnancy, time, what, when you never thought clearly. The second reason is the other person, you get to see whether they themselves were looking for what you're looking for. All right? Yeah. Get to see whether they wanted marriage or they wanted the benefits. All right? This does not justify rushing. There are women who start asking, tell me, what are you? What do you have in mind? What's your motive? To declare your intentions. No, that's unwise. You can actually check people's behavior as a woman without asking directly.
Yeah.
Just interact, see what he's after. Men is supposed to search. It's supposed to be knowing, sort of appreciation, your value. You're not supposed to be the one to prod him. If he has liked and qualified you, he will do it. When you realize it's like he's making you fall in love, gifting you, giving you attention, flirting, chatting, laughing, and your emotions are getting withdraw. Go through yourself. When he notices that you are pulled back and he's losing you and he really wanted you for marriage, now he will come and declare what he wanted. Are we together? But don't always, second meeting, you asking a person, now we are meeting for the second time. What do you have on your mind? No. Maybe he has not liked you enough. You wanted to check whether he has really liked you. Yeah. Don't focus on one person until your heart is into them. No. Control your feelings. Don't see one person and now you're already thinking children and marriage. No. That's why you don't focus on Devi. Devi asks to meet you or talk to you on phone. Go or talk to JMO. Talk to them. Interview everybody showing interest. No sex involved, no strings attached. You are checking who qualifies, who is ready as I am and who is on my level. Are we together? Don't give exclusivity by rushing, asking, come, what next? Maybe they don't want anything. Just wanted to play with the emotions. Leave them alone. Move on. You have lost nothing. Never embarrass yourself for bringing those awkward questions. What do you really have in mind? If you don't like their conduct, pull back. Answer by behavior. All right? Yeah. If they follow you and say, how come nowadays I don't see you? You don't tell them, no, I just realized we are getting too emotionally attached and there's no defined relationship. Now it's them asking, you can always answer. That also says, I'm not available for games, isn't it? But if they don't ask, maybe that's what they do with all girls, to play around with them. Yeah. The last thing I want you to marry in a ceremony is that the world knows you are taken and this is the one you are taken with. If you marry secretly and quietly, this person may continue entertaining the people they were entertaining before because it's written nowhere. Yeah. The world should know Bramwell. All right? Yeah. There's a difference between having a private relationship. People say, I don't want a wedding. I want a private relationship. No. There's a difference in relationship being private and being secret. We should know, John and Martha are married. That is supposed to be public. But what John and Mother are doing in their marriage should be private. So your relationship should be private, not secret. If somebody marries you secretly, it's because they're not committed.
Yeah.
They don't want the world to see. I want you to marry on one day so that there's a ceremony for the person to tell the world, now I am married. Brahma is my husband. Wow. That is important because there are other guys hitting on her. If she sneaks into your house, how do you know? And when she has declared that, now you have authority to expect that nobody else is entertaining. But if you have never quite married, she's just in your house, what authority do you have to tell her not to talk to other people? What is our future like? What is next? Always do it in a ceremony on one day so that you can see a decision being made and the world witnesses. Of course, as we say, life may turn the other way later, but when you have done things right, you can always now pick up with courage. Pick up with
Courage.
Yes.
I like that, Benjamin. Wow, beautiful. How I wish these people could understand this, Benjamin, instead of sweeping them under the carpet. Now, Benjamin, I'll go back to where you actually said. You see, some people have the idea of a beautiful marriage. So they tend to actually be carried away by the juicy part of it. And to some, signing that piece of paper is the juicy side. So what happens? Once reality hits in marriage, they drop the ball. The transition has failed. How do you deal with that then?
Discuss with the person before and hear their ideas whether they are realistic, whether they understand the depth and commitment. Remember we said you are dealing with a mature woman, 25 and above.
Yeah.
Okay? You are dealing with a woman who looks prepared to be a wife. Okay? Not a woman is looking for a man. That's a different thing. Yeah? There are women who are looking to be a wife to a husband. Others are just looking for a and a sexy one for that matter. One who is loaded.
Yes.
So, you want a woman who has who has adjusted her mind. You want a guy who has adjusted his mind to undertake the responsibility of being a man in the house, to undertake the responsibilities of taking care of a woman, of swallowing his ego to negotiate issues, of including the woman in the decisions, of taking care of a child if God blesses them with them, of taking care of a family, of going out there to hunt and provide. You want a man who has done his mathematics, prepared his mind. You want a woman who's willing to say no now to exes, to stop. You don't want a woman who's hiding things behind your back. You don't want a person who's still pretending and hiding. And many people, especially TikTok have a lot of immature audience. I have good listeners. The group is growing very well in TikTok. I'm very happy. But also there are children there. Yeah. I don't know whether they come with a proportion or they talk when they have a sleep. So whenever I talk using Pramal as example, they think I'm addressing men only. No, it's because my host is male. Should I say this?
Thank you.
Thing, man. Teaching children, you have to explain ABCD. Some of these points apply both genders.
Yeah.
But the person who is representing the audience is male. Please. Children, can you hear it? They keep saying that, but it doesn't apply to men. But it doesn't apply to women. How come I don't know? No. My audience is uniform, but they're not here. Yeah. The one who is representing them is male. So we're saying, when she you need to see whether she has made up her mind. If you who is listening is a woman, now put the he. You need a lot of patience to teach those children. Their comments are very irritating. I think they talk when they have us.
Yes.
They don't learn, but even But lucky enough, I have enough scouts to remove sleepy people from my space. When you come in our class, bring your brain. So you're saying, you will know whether she's ready to undertake it, whether she has individuated from her mother, whether he has outgrown the breastfeeding and being babysitted by the father, by the mother, whoever was carrying them. Go check whether the person you want to marry has outgrown and they're ready to start their own and journey through life with you alone. Not dependent on pastor, not dependent on their mother. No, that does not mean they're isolated, but they have individuated enough. Next time I'll tell you that the kind of separation a man needs to do is different from the kind of separation a woman does.
Okay.
The Bible does not say the woman will leave. It says the man will leave.
Yeah.
The kind of living a man does is bigger because he's supposed to be the leader of the family.
Yes.
The woman does not leave the father. She changes from the father to you now being the father figure. The male authority in her life. She moves from that father to you. Both men are front in life, protecting, soldiering for their families. When you acquire my daughter and you want to marry her, now you lead and protect the way I was doing.
Yeah.
You can't lead and protect when you're still attached to your mother, when you're still dependent on your father. You yourself need to be enough to ready, independent enough. So the kind of living is quite different. The woman lives, yes, she should not be enmeshed with a previous family, but it's like she's transferring. You get it?
Yeah.
Transferring from the care of the dad does not mean she was not independent. We said she must be independent. But we're talking ideally. There are many families, of course, where there is no dad. But you're saying what the Bible had in mind and what the ideal circumstance is that the man takes now the care of this woman and he's the one now responsible for her safety, to make sure she's supported, make sure she's okay. Of course, nowadays we are also working, she's contributing the matrix, but the leadership is still the man. So the kind of living a man does is bigger. You must never make your wife and your mother clash. You have not grown. You're supposed to understand both of them and keep strife away. And one way I told you to do that is always to make sure where your woman is going home day by day is not in the same gate to your mother. You can have a home at home because you don't live there, you only visit. But if you live there or for some reason you come from the city, look for a fence. Give your wife a small territory to control. Her own. To grow her chicken. To sweep. To clean. To design the color of the gate. Those are small things, but they matter, brother. They bring conflict.
Yeah.
To drive in and come back as she wishes. Without having to knock and there's the mother opening, there's conflict, came at night, came at. It is you to live so that you can give your woman. To cleave to your man, give a woman her own existence, a space where she can be free from your mother, your siblings, whoever. Even if you are the father figure, some siblings are really the father figure. It is very unfortunate in Africa.
Yeah.
It's not the father, it's the firstborn son who is the father figure. Provides decisions, direction, whatever. Now you're gotten married. Don't bring your woman in the mix. Let her have her own life.
Yeah.
You're supposed to live enough, to have enough distance and independence. While you're supporting your family, of course, supporting your mother, of course, but your priority, your first priority is always your family. Yes.
I like that. And Benjamin, all this comes with a lot of preparation.
Yes.
Comes with a lot of transitioning and changing. You know, one of the reasons as to why most men drop the ball is because walking into the next phase of life, you've said that marrying in a ceremony actually helps you transition, closure,
exactly,
for that matter. Some men fear closure because that is where they felt high. Their history made them feel high. They were being clapped for in their previous history. So walking in the next history is like they are walking in darkness. You see? And that is why most of them have dropped the ball. Doubts, for that matter. Will I make it?
And when you talk of clapping for, are you talking about the women they were dating or their own family?
Exactly.
So one, there are two ways when people are egotistical, who are immature, who are used to being praised and not being challenged.
Yeah.
Like your mother was very fond of you and everything you did, she congratulated. But now your wife knows your potential and she knows the duties in front of us and she's measuring it, but as what was required.
Yeah.
When you take 1,000 at home, your mother is very happy.
Uh-huh.
If you bring 1,000 at home, your wife is also happy, but she also knows what you're capable of, what you're earning, and what we need. Are we together? Your mother may not check your payslip. And she may not be expecting you to pay her rent at home. Yeah. She's happy. So if you are used to that easy life, don't marry before you prepare your mind. That now where we are going, it's not pressure. We are not talking about pressure, we're talking about responsibility. Minimum required. All right?
Yeah.
And to step out, to be the man, to get the work done. I was telling you the other day that when you marry, you do everything what you like and what you don't like. As long as it falls under your docket. You go for shopping when you have no money because we need unga at home. If they need maize flour, if they need rice, if they need cooking fat, you don't start saying, "No, I don't have money now. Let us sleep like that." Do you say that?
No.
You think and get what needs to be done. Of course, you and her could always contribute, but you're saying when the work becomes necessary, you get it done. All right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. When work becomes necessary, you get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very good point to actually take it. Do not fear, do not drop the ball. Actually make sure that let us follow the advices that Benjamin is saying. Let us make sure that we marry in a ceremony for transitioning purposes. Thank you for watching the Benjamin Zulu Show. Till next time.